weekend's second round of the NCAA, no less than 14 of the 16 favorites either lost or failed to beat the spread. Only Oklahoma State and Iowa State won by more than they were favored by. Still alive in the final 16, Seton Hall, who was 200-1. Wisconsin 150-1, and Miami and Gonzaga each 100-1. UConn was knocked off by Tennessee when an injured Khalid Al-Amin could play only 13 minutes and score only 3 points. UConn's coach, Jim Calhoun.
The head of the dragon is Khalid. He makes us go left and right. He energizes us. He coaches on the floor. He's coached on the sidelines.
Well, then who needs you?
Yeah,
And you get out.
Well, him write the next book.
Yeah, that's right.
Where's Plan B? Stupid.
Yeah.
Where is Plan B?
That's right.
Very good question, Bernard.
Yeah.
Where is Plan B?
Right.
Marcel's deal.
Yeah.
Seton Hall, while playing in their second straight overtime, upset Temple 67-65. The story, Hall substitute Ty Shine with 26 points. That's right. Hit the game winner with 15 seconds left. Here's Warner Fusell of Seton Hall Radio Network.
Greer's got it. 2 seconds. 1 second. At half court, Greer to win it. No, it is no good. And the Seton Hall Pirates have pulled off an upset of biblical proportions.
It was a religious game.
Idiot.
Well, you got Passover coming up, right?
Get a perspective.
Temple made only 6 out of 18 foul shots. The Hall now plays Oklahoma State. So, bottom line, if you pick Stanford, Arizona, Temple, Ohio State, or St. John's in the Final Four in the office pool, you lost. Big time.
Huge.
Out. The most exciting player in the NBA, Vince Carter, did it again, beating the Rockets with 1 second left. Chuck Swirsky of The Fan in Toronto.
Vince, with 4 seconds remaining, put the ball under the baseline, left with its two-handed jam. I don't believe it. Are you kidding me? Vincent Lamar Carter's about to do it again.
37 for Carter. Meanwhile, the question is anybody watching the NBA on TV? No.
Wow.
Nobody. NBA telecasts are down 20% since Michael Jordan retired 2 years ago.
Man.
700,000 less homes, and college basketball, excluding the current NCAA tournament, isn't doing much better. They hit an all-time low this year. How about the Denver Nuggets' Nick Van Exel?
What did he do?
Well, the First Star Bank of Denver threatened to sue Van Exel unless he paid $19,000 overdue on his credit card.
Right.
The First Star Bank employee in charge of credit card balances, obviously not a Nuggets fan and not aware of Van Exel, who makes $8 million per year, accepted Van Exel's offer to settle for $12,000.
Good grief.
Well, I like that, though.
You like that deal?
Yeah. Made the deal.
Yeah.
Sure.
Finally.
Unbelievable.
Well, somebody's thinking there for Van Exel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, what do you do in the NFL draft if you need a place kicker and you are considering taking Florida State All-American kicker Sebastian Janikowski?
I don't know.
Well, the draft is April 15th, but 2 weeks later, Sebastian Janikowski's hearing on bribery charges are set in Tallahassee. If convicted for trying to bribe a police officer, Janikowski could face up to 5 years in jail and or be deported. Said one NFL scout, he can't make many field goals from Poland.
No, you can't. It's too long.
For Imus in the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wall.
Nobody wants to play rhythm guitar behind Jesus. Everybody wants to be the lead singer in the band. Imus in the morning.
Oh, that's an ugly situation for the place kicker, isn't it?
Certainly is.
Well, unless you've been living on some other planet, you've probably heard all about the amazing health benefits attributed to green tea. All right, here now on the Imus in the Morning program, our fat friend, Reverend Al Sharpton. Good morning, Reverend Al.
Morning, I'm out. No sooner did I endorse the efforts of the NAACP's President Mfume to increase the number of leading roles for black on network television, Queasy does something to make me queasy again. Now he's suggesting that black tourists boycott South Carolina until the state agrees to remove the Confederate flag flying from its Capitol building. A move to make me think maybe he been hanging out with Marion Barry. because only a crackhead could come up with a plan like this.
Yeah.
Here's why I'm fuming over Mfume's decision.
All right.
How does it help us to boycott an entire state that barely tolerates us in the first place? Those lily-white golf-playing Dixie heads would like nothing better than to keep us out of Hilton Head. You know Billy Bob would prefer not having us on the boardwalk at Myrtle Beach. Southern whites have resented us at their lunch counters ever since the 60s. Our refusal to sit there ain't nothing but the answer to their prayers. Besides, who we gonna be hurting if not ourselves? We stop spending our leisure dollars in South Carolina, the only thing we blacklisting is blacks. You think the KKK is gonna cater their annual 4th of July picnic from Leroy's home-style barbecue pit and chicken shack? Who's gonna be spending the night at the Nat Turner bed and breakfast? Who's gonna be riding the Underground Railroad attraction at Harriet Tubman World? This idea is almost like the homosexual lobby protesting a lack of funding for AIDS research by calling for a gay boycott of Broadway. Not that I disagree in theory with the resolution. I was under the impression that when you lose a war, you got to take your flag down. You don't see the German embassy in New York hanging no swastika banner, do you? So why these cracker peckerheads insist on perpetuating an iconographic symbol that has long been synonymous with slavery? The Johnny Rebs got their ass kicked almost 140 years ago. They got to get over it already. But I guess a flag flying over the State House is preferable to what they could very well have as a memorial. Some kind of redneck monument with a statue of a Confederate soldier with his foot on the neck of a slave with the inscription, "The South shall rise again." They can keep hanging their flags so long as they don't start hanging us again.
Hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name?
Imus in the morning, 1-800-MATTRVN.
Come on, baby.
Happy birthday, Lou, by the way.
Merci.
Yeah, okay, here we go. All right, here now with comment and observation on headline issues of the day, Imus in Washington senior political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon.
Indeed, indeed. And thank you very much as always, Imus, in the morning. Always such a pleasure and a privilege, I hasten to add, to join you here on your very fine program and share with you my insights and considerable expertise in a variety of areas too numerous to mention, and yada, yada, yada. So, what's up with this Pope do, you suppose, eh?
What?
What's his mission? Open the gefilte curtain? I mean, he's a great man, Dono, no question, but John Paul, come on. You're 80 years old. You've got Parkinson's disease. You're about to fall on your noggin every other step you take. You worry everybody to death. You're richer than God himself. The world adores you, so you've done enough. Go home. Besides, why would this guy, staggering around and everything like he is, why would he want to wade into that Middle East lose-lose situation anyway? Everybody hates everybody else and everything about everybody else. Much like on your radio program here, strikes me, J.D. No difference. Oh, just to pursue something I heard you mention the other day, who does put together the Pope's wardrobe? If they're really trying to pull the church into the 21st century, isn't it about time for him to lose the beanie and the dress? Not to mention that cone head contraption he wears sometimes. Couldn't you get Joseph Abboud to design some tasteful little number, 3-button deal, or some nice casual pullover crew neck that maybe has embroidered over the pocket, "I'm holy, you're not"? You know, something like that that's more now? Anyway, the Pope, God bless him, is not going to accomplish one single solitary thing going to the Holy Land, in my judgment, except to get everybody even more torqued off at each other than they already are. Hell, it's a lock. Oh, well, just like President Clinton, our other sojourner of the moment, what's he trying to prove going to India and Pakistan? And why can't he just keep his big, fat W.C. Fields' nose out of other people's business? I mean, if we use as our gauge how this administration has done with the Northern Ireland and Israeli-Arab peace processes, then we're looking at about 5 seconds till midnight on the old doomsday clock, when we start seeing 70 gazillion ragheads making microwave falafels out of each other, right? Interesting, too, in my view, that Mr. Clinton would choose to begin his Asian tour at the exact moment, nearly, when Bob Ray, the new independent prosecutor, you know, the guy who took Ken Starr's place, is about to read the fat bastard his Miranda rights. Did you see all that? Finally, dude, we're going to get to the bottom of this she-blue, he-blue thing and determine once and for all the truth about him getting his knob polished in the Oval Office. And on my dime, if you will. Or as I think about it, maybe some Chinaman's dime, the way he and Gore were working that scam. Now Al Gore's a campaign finance reformer?
Well,
What am I, a left-handed pygmy astronaut? Give me a break. And didn't you love the fact that this dolt was suddenly and so piously talking about campaign finance reform about 30 minutes after Maria Shaw becomes a convicted felon for the Al Gore Buddhist temple hustle? Surely, surely this country isn't that unconscious as to buy this that is worse only by degrees, it strikes me, than this compassionate conservative line of drivel that moron Bush is putting out. I know my time's up, but just let me say that if I hear him say, examine my heart, or look at my heart one more time, I'm hoping the next place he turns up is on an autopsy table. Ouch! A, shall we say, world view of sorts through the old Dick scope today, J.D. That of Dick Nixon, the man whose foreign adventures opened the bamboo curtain and thereby got us cheap sneakers when he was the president of the United States.
it is 28 after the hour, and here now, let's try it again. My wife did Imus. Good morning, Mrs. Imus.
Good morning. I thought you guys hung up on me because I heard the
Why?
show. I heard the show, and then all of a sudden it went dead. So I.
Yeah, that's just the program. That's just the program.
Why would you think we would do that?
Well, because one of you guys have accidentally hung up on me before.
Oh, well,
a
it would
couple
be.
of times.
It would be an accident.
Right. That's what I thought. It
Oh,
just
okay.
accidentally one of you guys hung up.
Oh, okay. So I want you to
Lou?
explain to Charles, happy birthday to Lou, by the way.
No, not me.
Happy birthday, Lou.
Happy birthday.
Who's responsible for putting on hold? I can't put her on hold in here.
No, but she's saying who hangs up usually. If I punch her in and you punch another line in, goodbye.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Honey?
it.
Yeah.
We're gone.
How come Lou doesn't get the day off for his birthday?
We don't do that here.
Yeah, what up with that?
We don't have that
We
policy.
don't have that policy, no.
No.
He's not going to have a good birthday today.
Yeah, he's having a great birthday.
How's it going so far, Louie?
Lots of yucks.
Yeah.
Doing great, baby.
So, that's Lou's new Patrick McEnroe impression. So, he unveiled that today.
Yeah.
So I want you to explain to Charles, every day I get up, and here's what I do. Every day I get up and I say,
What is the problem here?
when my wife loses her patience,
Yes.
which is instantaneous.
I don't believe that, by the way.
Oh,
Charles,
be
how
honest.
can you sit there with a straight face?
Well,
when
I
you-
say I
when
don't-
he's
I
telling
don't
you
believe
that
it.
I'm the one who loses my patience.
She
I
will
just
say to me,
don't believe it.
She will say to me,
What?
hand me, for example, we're giving Wyatt a bath.
Yeah.
She'll say, then she pours water on his head when she washes his hair.
Mhm.
And then she'll say, hand me a towel, a little wash rag to dry his eyes
Right.
after the wash.
Right.
If I don't do it like that,
Yeah.
then she just explodes.
Well-
Don't you?
No, it's just I don't understand if you see Wyatt slipping, why you just sit there and watch instead of grabbing him. So if I don't, it's like you don't. I don't know. You don't act quickly,
That's...
and it's like it's too late even if you wait 2 seconds.
So what I say, so last night she's in the library doing something.
Yeah.
And there's some magazines she wants thrown away.
Oh God.
So I pick up a couple of them, but I don't get
Yeah.
all of them because I didn't know all of the ones she wanted thrown away.
Well,
Right.
first of all, that's not true because I asked you and I had Wyatt in my lap and I was picking him up to bring him into the bedroom because it was already almost 10 o'clock and he still wouldn't go to sleep. So,
Yeah.
and then he just goes on about, reading this book and that book. And so I said, okay, let's read another book in the bedroom. And he's the one who has no patience.
No, but you blew up. And here's what I tell
I
myself.
didn't blow up.
There is a way to avoid this.
How?
How?
By me just not reacting. But
You don't, though. That's the problem. See, there's the problem right there. You don't react when Wyatt and I
There you
need you
go.
to help us.
Well,
You
right.
just sit
There
there.
you go.
When
She tells you to do something.
When when something's critical is on the line, he just sits there like a goof, doesn't
Absolutely.
he? I know
Literally,
exactly
Charles,
what you mean.
It's like I wonder,
What?
like all of a sudden did he go into a coma for a few seconds? He doesn't
Who
react.
knows? Who
Wait, that's
knows?
not
it,
fair.
it isn't required. This instantaneous reaction to all of these things, there's no requirement for that. But here's what I tell
Well.
myself each day. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
What you've advised me to do, just don't say anything.
Well, but I mean, when you need to react to something,
Oh, well, I
then
do.
react.
No, honey, you don't. That's
Well,
the problem right there. You don't.
She has
Clearly.
zero.
This
patience.
marriage
One day
is
he was
headed
Wyatt
off
was
the
running,
tracks.
and I was able to catch him so his head didn't hit the floor because he fell back, like literally up off his heels, and he was
Yeah.
going to land on his back.
Yeah.
So Don is standing right there too. He just stands there and watches.
What?
Instead, I bent down and I have my hands under. So So he fell in my arms. Luckily, he would have went right down on the
This
floor.
child
Well,
has
for crying out
injured
loud.
himself more.
What are you doing?
What are you talking about?
My
He
God,
has
what
injured
kind of
himself
father
far
are
more
you?
times in her care and the nanny's care than he has
What
mine.
kind of household are we running?
But you don't want
over
him to end up like Marlon Brando in The
God
Godfather in a
almighty.
tomato patch. He's got to watch himself. Come on.
Well,
there? Do something.
So this is Wyatt's latest. He says, Daddy, I want hearing aids.
well, when I explained to him, it was
Cute,
not.
but he sees Daddy with these hearing aids, and Daddy told him what they were, so he keeps saying he wants. Besides the cowboy anyway.
Man.
And one of those big diapers.
She sounds like you're really having a great time there this morning, honey.
I'm just ready to kill myself.
Oh, darn.
Oh, man.
So,
Well, he's like a teenager. You cannot get him out of bed in the morning. And he moans and groans. He's just like you. Get away.
oh, hey, listen, I talked to Peter Boyles this morning from Denver. You know, the guy who's the real kind of the go-to guy on the John Benet Ramsey
Yes,
case.
I know who he is. Yes.
Okay. He says the mother did it. So. And he has no agenda that we can determine, does he?
No, it's just what he's been able to glean from what he's...
Well, what Bo said yesterday, I was screaming laughing because it's like Wyatt, if he got hurt, we're like, okay, let's just club him to death.
I'll see you later. It's 33 after the hour.
Happy birthday, baby. Oh, I love you so.
Imus in the morning.
We return now to Senator Harding.
To the past, we look toward tomorrow with all eyes focused on two key goals.
How to fire Rob for that. Really. Get Rob on the phone. I'm going to fire him.
They called Richard Nixon Tricky Dick, but my big Willie's slick. And I'm the type of guy who will unzip his fly for a Hummer, My wife, she says that I'm mentally sick, and that's why I'm addicted to chicks. Have you ever heard anything dumber this summer? Talking the Talking Tina's magazine. Hillary decides that she's gonna come clean. How she feel about my infidelities to get some sympathy for her candidacy. Spoke very frankly with a whole lot of candor. Said she always knew that I liked to philander and had a big problem controlling my banana, cause I was mistreated by my moms and my nana. So when it comes to women, I have this disease. I like some fat and stupid, and I like them on their knees. I like to flash my penis in a hotel room. The bitch is so ugly they could fly on a broom. Known to grope a girly when I get to feeling gloomy. Some girls will slap me and some will try to sue me. Hill said I screw around cause I was scarred by abuse. Not only did she forgive me, she gave me my excuse. They called Richard Nixon Tricky Dick, but my big Willie's slick. And I'm the type of guy who will unzip his fly for a Hummer, My wife, she says that I'm mentally sick, and that's why I'm addicted to chicks. Have you ever heard anything dumber this summer? I'm hung like a horse, I should run into Preakness. I have no remorse, my sin is just weakness. Can't look at a woman and not want to date her. The medical explanation is that I'm just a satyr. Arkansas girls got it going on, that's why I live my life like a country song. Though my wife knows all about adultery, won't divorce, cause she was with me back when it all began. Like Tammy Wynette, she's gonna stand by her man. Don't need no denial when I go buck wild. Just bite my lower lip, cry like a crocodile, cause I can blame my total lack of self-control on stuff that happened back when I was 4 years old. Hill said I screw around cause I was scarred by abuse. Not only did she forgive me, she gave me my excuse. They called Richard Nixon Tricky Dick, but my big Willie's slick. And I'm the type of guy who will unzip his fly for a Hummer, My wife, she says that I'm mentally sick, and that's why I'm addicted to chicks. Have you ever heard anything dumber this summer? Some of the girls come and some of the girls go. Some of them are fine and some are so-so. Some of the girls come and some of the girls don't, but I don't really care so long as I get what I want. Some of the girls are fun and some are just hoes, and some will give me a Hummer when Hillary says no. And she says it's okay cause I was scarred by abuse. I can screw around, she gave me my excuse. They called Richard Nixon Tricky Dick, but my big Willie's slick. And I'm the type of guy who will unzip his fly for a Hummer, My wife, she says that I'm mentally sick, and that's why I'm addicted to chicks. Have you ever heard anything dumber this summer?
Club here in the Imus Morning Program's 18 till the hour. Macaroon's coming up. So. McEnroe's dad keeps writing me these letters, and it's to the point now where it's just become a source of irritation.
Well, sure. You've unleashed an animal.
And here's what I'm wondering. What's going on down there at Paul Weiss-Rifkin and so on? What's the old man doing over there? Just sitting around writing...
What do you mean?
Sitting around writing amusing letters. To me, they're always amusing letters, and short, by the way. So
he knows the I-man's attention span.
Well, like that.
Minimal at best.
Son, yeah. Anyway, so the latest is my wife attacked the McEnroe family, sort of.
She did?
Well, by suggesting that you didn't have to be that bright to go to Stanford because of the 3 brothers who went. You're the only one who graduated. Turns out Mark graduated as well, right?
Graduated and went to law school.
Okay.
He's a very successful lawyer.
I understand. I don't think we
So
get
what
overly
is your wife
defensive
talking about?
Well,
Where did she go to university?
She didn't have the facts. She went to Villanova on a track scholarship, by the way. So.
Well, I'll let that speak for itself.
Didn't spend a lot of time. This is getting ugly now.
NBA, the Lakers beat the Knicks 92-85. Shaq Fu with 43, Kobe at 24, and after the game, Patrick Ewing.
We're disappointed. I mean, they're a great team, but they're not that much better than we are.
Oh, man. I mean,
Lord, wake
I
up.
mean, you are now.
There you go. Another reason I hate the Knicks.
He dropped 43 on you, and he wasn't even trying.
Guys, oxygen. What is
And Kobe Bryant played Sprewell like it was a playground. I mean, it was laughable. Like a yo-yo. Looked like Vernon Jordan out there, didn't he?
O'Neal's dead.
Patrick Ewing.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, then you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Just the gaping a-hole, that guy.
I think that's a little strong, don't you think?
No, not at all. Surly, uncharismatic schmuck.
Okay.
Clueless.
That's better.
Imus in the morning.
Patrick.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
All right, let me talk to you about Mohegan Sun now. Oh, have mercy. Sound like B.B. King.
Well, it is B.B. King.
I just had to ask Lou.
I know. Moron.
Well, O.B. Did you know that B.B. King cannot sing and play the guitar simultaneously?
No, I did not know
You know
that.
that, Matt?
No, I did not know that. What's he doing in concerts?
Well,
Someone else.
if you'll notice, no, he just...
He strums and then he sings.
Yeah. He lets it hang. It's hanging around his neck. That's the thing about when he sings. He ain't doing nothing.
I don't know, I never asked him, but next time he's there, I'll ask him if he's incapable of doing that.
Yeah.
Maybe by choice.
Could be. Sure.
Let's let his strings do the singing for him.
Man, I forget who told me this, but some other musician.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to diss O.B.
Could very well be. Disorder. No good.
Mohegan Sun. Once they get this new,
Baby, you gotta love it. Imus in the morning, 2020 Sports.
all right, here now, Patrick McEnroe, and we're still working on the Patrick McEnroe intros,
Yeah.
which are,
Well, they're in process.
well, they're in the works.
They're in
I'll handle it.
process.
I can handle McCarver.
Here's the thing, Lou.
Yo.
I think you could help us with these.
Seriously, I mean, judging of what's coming out of your mouth today.
Yeah.
Here I come, baby. Sports 2020.
I think this might work, huh?
That might be the deal.
The best of the McEnroes.
All right,
I like these.
Here is Patrick McEnroe. Good morning, Mr. McEnroe.
Good morning, Mr. Imus. This Imus Sports Report is brought to you by Courtyard by Marriott. In the NBA last night, the Lakers continue to roll in Miami. In Miami last night, LA spoiled former coach Pat Riley's 55th birthday with a 100-89 win. The Lakers stopped.
Oh, please stop it.
Well, all right.
My gosh.
They stopped Miami's 13-game home winning streak as Shaquille O'Neal and Glenn Rice each scored 28 as the Lakers overcame a 13-point halftime deficit with a third quarter explosion as they outscored Miami 33-14 in that quarter.
Wow.
Now, Miami played without big men P.J. Brown and Otis Thorpe, so Alonzo Mourning was forced to face the big fella all alone. But Zoe, he didn't want to make any excuses.
I'm not even going to point the finger at the fact that we have injuries. I mean, we were a little short-handed.
Oh, shut up.
Doesn't want to make any excuses, but he'll jump right on that.
Yeah.
By the way, did you happen to watch any of the game?
No, a little bit, tiny bit.
Did you see the beginning of the show at TNT's broadcast?
No.
They do this whole opening with It's sort of like a Monday Night Football takeoff with the music and everything.
No.
I understand the NBA is trying to spruce everything up, and they're talking about how the ratings are sinking and et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, they sunk to a new low last night. They went to this opening, Craig Sager, who I like. He does a nice job, and they zoom in on him, and he's on a yacht in the Miami Harbor. And they zoom in as he's doing his intro, and next to him is a woman, must have been 19-year-old girl in a swimsuit, sitting in a pool with a champagne glass. And I'm saying, is this how low we now have to go?
And this is a problem because...
You want ratings? What were you offended by?
I mean,
Patrick.
what does that have to do with opening up a sports program?
Everything.
A lot. Guys to
So
watch.
you're all totally for it.
Come on.
Yes.
Hey, what's up?
It's me against the world here.
What's up with you?
Give me some dumb bunch of sexist fools in here.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
And that's a problem.
If the shoe fits.
Somebody call AP. Fits you. Jason Kidd missed a triple-double by 1 rebound last night as he finished with 16 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds as Phoenix beat Boston 110-106. Now the Celtics are 1.5 games out of the playoffs in the East, and Coach Rick Pitino knows that his team needs some help.
You want to make your own breaks at this game. You don't want to root for other people to lose, but we're going to have to root for some other people to lose as well.
Yeah, you don't want to, but I guess we have to. Now, speaking of the playoff race in the East, the Philadelphia 76ers are making a nice push to improve their position. They won their 3rd straight last night, 102-96 over Charlotte. Allen Iverson led the Sixers with 25, despite shooting just 9 of 24 from the field. But he says, hey, my teammates can help me out.
Second half, I couldn't get on track, but they already proved to me that if I have a bad night shooting the ball, that we can still win.
So in other words, your teammates have to prove it to you, Allen.
Man.
See how that's going there in Philly.
Wonder why ratings are going down. Really? This guy out of touch with. You know what I mean? Shaquille O'Neal's okay and Kobe Bryant, some of these people. But I mean, they're not a bunch of tattooed goofballs are going to take the place of Michael Jordan. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
No. That's
Homie don't play that.
Tony Kornheiser, your buddy, had a nice article in the Washington Post today. And he was saying that maybe they could just follow Michael around in his suit while he's in the owner's box, and then just run a score up, under the screen there, what the score is in the game. That might get the ratings back.
It has as much to do, unfortunately, with the way Michael Jordan looks.
Yeah.
Just the way he looks. I mean, he's a handsome guy. He's got a bunch of stupid tattoos all over. He's not worrying about, well, he wears an earring, but who cares about that? But I mean,
he's got a little class.
He's a good-looking guy. Yeah. And some of these other guys are just not. So I mean, it's
spiffy in his suits.
Pretty superficial, but that's really the bottom line.
We're
a superficial culture.
As we just found out.
Yeah.
From earlier in my sportscast.
What is the deal with Kobe Bryant? I mean, what's the deal with that hair? I mean, that is not happening.
No, my man, get a pic.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
You look like you just stepped out the project, yo.
I mean, go.
Yo, we got next.
You know what I'm
there
saying?
were a couple of guys from Pepperdine. Did you see those guys?
Oh, yeah, there's some funky-looking brothers, man.
What's going on? That was funky-looking brothers there. That was like an H-Rap Brown 1968 pro.
Buckwheat deal.
That was one sweet dude there.
Curtis Blow.
Man, Patrick continues.
Now, this game last night between Charlotte and Philadelphia was quite a physical affair, and Charlotte forward Derek Coleman was ejected in the second quarter for a flagrant foul on 76er forward Tony Kukoc. Kukoc received stitches to his eye, but he did return to the game. Now, Charlotte coach Paul Silas, well, he didn't quite see it the way the referees did.
I think there was just frustration. The last play that he got fouled on and it wasn't called, he struck back at Kukoc, who, in my mind, faked it.
Oh, yeah. He's got stitches.
He got stitches, so he faked it. Well, here's Tony's response.
Maybe if I lost my eye, there would be a red reaction from me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do when somebody hits you in the eye. I really don't know.
Sounds racial to me.
Paul Silas, what game are you watching?
Yeah.
Now, Orlando beat Chicago 88-86 in OT last night as they struggled to hang on to the last playoff spot in the East. Orlando lost to Toronto last Friday, and yesterday Coach Doc Rivers was fined $7,500 for comments he made after that loss. See if you can figure out why.
I don't mind losing the game because we turned the ball over, but we also got screwed with calls tonight, down the stretch. They should just wear Raptors jerseys and cheer for Vince Carter. Because the refs had no balls at the end of the game tonight. Other than that, I'm very happy.
Doc, I think you got to relax.
Other than that, he's pretty delighted.
Yeah.
Little ball.
Hey, Joan Rivers could coach better than that guy. That's the problem.
All right, here's Mike now from Winsett, North Carolina. Good morning, Mike.
Morning.
How you doing?
All right, doing fine, my man.
What's the problem?
Well, I just got a comment about Clinton's visit over there to India. You know how they set off that nuclear underground test because they had done, figured out the rotation of our satellite.
Right.
And then they just turned around after after they made a statement about it, and then he set off another one, So they got no use for us over there, so I don't know what Clinton's doing over there. But I got an intro maybe for Patrick's sportscast.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Let me hear that.
All right. Deadlier than a rattler with all the scores you need to know. Tune in to MSNBC. Get it straight from Patrick McEnroe.
Okay, your trailer's on fire, Mike.
In the morning.
The never-ending line. Humankind's eternal problem. At the MTA, we're always looking for ways to make...
Some of these guys, whoever some of these disc jockeys are, talk show guys, they're not talking about that case because they're trying to, hump their Arbitron numbers. Right. They're talking about it because that's what people are talking about. Yep. So I think it would be, I would be safe to say, I would stake part of my reputation on Mr. Boyle. So he has a good reputation, and I don't think Mr. Wood is completely crazy either. So
no, but therein lies the difference.
But don't call me, any of you, anymore about this. I'm not taking your calls. I'm not putting you on the radio.
No mas.
I'm not putting you on television. That's the end of it. Go find the real killer and call me when you have the real killer, and then we'll talk to him about it. But because
we want to hear about it.
I mean, I watched part of this Katie Couric interview, and it's pointless. I mean, she does a nice job, but it's pointless. I mean, I would, if the Ramseys called and said, "Could we be on your program?" I would say no. I don't want to talk to you. I have nothing to talk to you about.
Mm-hmm. Not going to resolve it.
Well, no, you've had 3 years to think about it, and maybe you didn't do it. I mean, I'm willing. I'm certainly willing to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Sure. How democratic of the eye man.
Well, it's true. And I don't think some 9-year-old kid did it. I mean, I think that's bizarre to think that
him fashioning a garrote.
Or, but you could speculate forever. You could say, well, okay, the kid hit her, and then the parents tried to cover. Well, no, that's so bizarre that's so Machiavellian that...
you win a book.
Yeah, you could just make yourself crazy about this thing. Somebody killed this child. And they know who, then if it's the parents, they know they did it. And then they'll have to live, God will straighten it out. Yeah, I believe that. I actually do believe that. So... Now, I get a call yesterday from... Here I'm praising the contractors on these various projects of mine. And Jim Elligood of AmeriWest Construction out at the ranch in New Mexico. The infirmary, which Deirdre designed to look like an old-time saloon, it's gorgeous. I mean, these kids, if they get sick at the ranch and have to go to the infirmary, they'll want to go there.
Yeah.
They'll want to stay in it. It's like staying in a...
It's that neat.
Yeah. It's that neat. Yeah. I mean, it's beyond belief. Just the going in, the big saloon and the 2 bedrooms and everything, unbelievable. But the idiot architect who I fired, we now have one of the better architects in the country, Mike Mahaffey, who's trying to straighten some of this stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's primarily responsible for building the main house, he and Deirdre. But anyway, they designed the doors too small in the utility part of the infirmary, so that if you have to get the furnace out or the water heater, you have to take the water heater out to get... In other words, it was designed improperly, and then they knew that last fall. And the contractor went ahead and built it anyway.
With that knowledge?
With that knowledge.
Huh.
And now the contractor, Elligood, and this incompetent buffoon architect are now arguing with each other about somebody's going to fix it. I'm not going to pay for it. And you're not. You contributed to this ranch, and we're not going to pay for it. They're going to fix it. So I have to deal with that just then. Then I get a call from one of my neighbors up in Westport who's whining about trees that Deirdre's planting along the tree's going to be too tall to block their view of the ocean. I said, well, I don't know. I don't think so. But
we've got to wait and see how high they grow.
Are they going to? I don't know how tall they're going to grow.
I don't know.
That's the last thing I want to hear. Then the guy tries to say, this is hilarious. This is a hilarious story. I'm not going to use any names because I don't embarrass anybody, but this is a hilarious story. I'm coming down the street and in the limo, and I see a guy, 2 people in a golf cart pull into my driveway. And from the road up to the main house, it's about a quarter of a mile. And the house is right on the water there. So I follow the guy in his golf cart. He and one of his aides or somebody, he's on the golf cart. Clearly, they don't know that I'm behind them as they turn in the property.
They didn't hear you coming.
No, of course not. So they see me. Well, obviously, we pull up, and the limo's right behind them. They see me. Well, they don't stop. They immediately hightail it out of the property. They don't stop to see who's in the limo. They don't. You know, you would think, well,
step on it, Roscoe.
You're coming over to see me.
They're on to us.
I called them yesterday. They tell me, well, I was coming over to pick up Wyatt. Now, Wyatt's a year and a half old. I'm coming over to pick up Wyatt to come over and play with my grandkids. Well, now, what?
Hello?
If you were first of all, what would make you think Wyatt was home? That's one.
Yeah.
Then, well, I couldn't call. Well, then, fine. Then drop it. Or two, what would make you think we would hand this year-and-a-half-old child over to you?
To take away on your golf cart.
To take away on your golf cart to play with your grandchildren. What are you, nuts?
God.
Trespass.
I mean, what? I mean, just idiotic. And the guy's trying to tell me this story, so I got mad at him.
How lame is that?
And swore at him. And then, but here's how I'm getting better. I called back and apologized. I lost my temper, and I swore at him, and I was not pleasant. But I'm a guy's jerking my chain. I mean, come on. So, but I did call back and apologize.
What do we think he was there for?
Just spying, looking around. Who knows what he was over there for? You know, he tried to, he whined about me building a house too close to the ocean to start with. It was blocking his view. Well,
right.
Get over it.
Never matched
He's
up.
never there anyway. Suddenly, and his house sits so far back toward the road, he can't see the ocean anyway. Don't worry. I mean, don't worry about it. God. Just in. So I get that, but that's the last thing I need. I'm far more worried about this ranch than I am this dopey house in Westport. So anyway.
And he turned around and saw that limo, about died.
Yeah. But that is such a
quick. Let's get our stories
absurd
together.
story. You know, we're coming over to pick up Wyatt. Well, why would? I mean, that's just insane, isn't it?
Yes.
To think I would believe that.
You had to blurt something out.
Yeah, that's exactly. Just blurt anything out.
And he said he had his aide with him, so the aide could carry Wyatt. Well, I mean that's just that's beyond it's insulting. So, but meanwhile, I would normally have just let it go, and just drop it, you know. But on the other hand, I got this idiot in New Mexico telling me that the doors are too small and they
can't get access for equipment.
And trying to blame it on the architect who we've already fired, who the contractor recommended in the first place, by the way. We're the ones who found Mahaffey. Just picked up Architectural Digest and looked at the top architects in the country and picked him. Said, how come you come do it? You fix it. And he's nearly doing the whole project for a pair of cowboy boots. Wow, that's how dedicated he is.
Excellent.
He's a rich old fool from Oklahoma City or someplace. So what's he care? Anyway, say Ben Leon.
Imus in the morning.
Hi, we're the Banks of...
Stop! Join the rock and roll fun of on a week-long pilgrimage retracing the footsteps of Moses and Jesus. And busting some dope moves of my own. MTV provides wall-to-wall coverage of the Pope's historic visit to Jordan, Palestine, and Israel.
3 nations in 5 days. It's the first Middle East papal tour in 36 years.
Grab your thong vestments and Kangol miters and head for the beach by the Jordan River, where His Holiness kicks out the jams with the locals.
Awesome! Who's ready for chicken fight? Just be careful of the heart.
Be part of the live studio papal audience with special episodes of Real World Palestine, Celebrity Deathmatch with Ehud Barak and Hafez al-Assad, and a Road Rules face-off where the Pope Mobile takes on a team of monster truck drivers from the Bethlehem refugee camps.
Bring it on, brother. This baby's got posse traction.
See the Holy Father, Pope John Paul II, hang with his special guest, Don Imus, JP, and JD, chilling in Amman with the Imus.
We have a lot in common. We both go to the desert for vacation. We both wear funny hats. And we each have a powerful Jew for a boss.
Yours is Jesus and mine is Mel.
MTV's Spring Break in the Holy Land with the Pope.
Just trying to keep it real, yo. True that, boy.
Bring it.
those Slick Willie babies.
Getting jiggy with it.
Getting jiggy with it. Raise the roof, y'all.
Way back when I was governor of Arkansas, had a little love nest of the Excelsior. State troopers would bring the fresh meat to me, just like there was a pizza delivery. There was one who really turned up a thermostat. Thought I'd treat her like groceries and bag that. She was margarine who thought she was a higher price spread. Didn't bag her though she could have used a bag for her head. But for a while I got down with Miss America, and I defiled her crown because I was boning her. With a swimsuit, heels, and libido, she won the talent competition in my limo. And the nightclub singer with the fine-looking tush used to plant my seed in that flower's bush. I actually made her think that we'd walk down the aisle. Just one of the little tricks of the Slick Willie style. Maybe because I'm president, all my wiener's just a little bit bent. But you can call me Tricky Dick, the way I have to beat the babes off with a stick. Choke up another notch as I put another lady's hand on my crotch. And cover up the whole thing with denial. That's what I call Slick Willie style. Hot tamale named Dolly taught the golden rule, getting jolly on her back way back in high school. Used to like to study her biology. She got high marks in everything but chastity. Went cruising with Susan when she was still cute. Now she choosing to cruise in an orange jumpsuit. A Jones for my jammy and what I deliver. But before she give me up, she'd rather go up the river. The Slick Willie style make the ladies all swoon. I just don't know why Hillary is immune, cause even a widow will forget me not. Hubby wasn't cold for I got the girl hot in the Oval Office for a midday grope. Grabbed her on the butt, tried to help the girl cope. Made her forget her troubles for a while. Working up a sweat with my Slick Willie style. Maybe cause I'm president, all my wiener's just a little bit bent. But you can call me Tricky Dick, the way I have to beat the babes off with a stick. Chuck up another notch as I put another lady's hand on my crotch. And cover up the whole thing with denial. That's what I call Slick Willie style. Intern's first day when she walked through the door, didn't remember ever coming across her face before. I had no Viagra aphrodisiac, but I was packing more wood than a lumberjack. Asked what it would take for her to go with me, and she said she loved music and poetry. So I read her a Shakespeare sonnet, while she took out my saxophone and put her lips on it. She was just a little older than a juvenile, but turned the girl into a woman with my Slick Willie style. Maybe cause I'm president, all my wiener's just a little bit bent. But you can call me Tricky Dick, the way I have to beat the babes off with a stick. Chuck up another notch as I put another lady's hand on my crotch. Cover up the whole thing with denial. That's what I call Slick Willie style.
Good jiggy with it. Now, Martin, raise the roof, y'all. God, that's lame. You can't get any lamer than that, can you?
No.
Raise the roof, y'all. 23 to the hour here in the Imus Morning Program. Rob Barton and LeBar Letzer at the Colonial Theater in Keene, New Hampshire, a week from Saturday.
Great.
For more information about that big appearance, call him at 603-357-7817 or check out Rob's website at robshow.com.
And live from Boston, here's Dennis. Good morning, Dennis.
How are you doing?
Well, I'll tell you how I'm doing. I'm sober, Dennis.
I quit drinking.
When did you quit?
Oh, 5 hours ago. I went to see Bernard
Was it 5 hours ago you stopped drinking, Dennis, or 5 minutes?
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
Hey, I called Barnacle at the Globe about a half hour ago.
I bet that was an interesting two drunks talking to each other.
You left your wallet at his house or something?
I know you don't care about the 10 o'clock hour.
Imus in the morning.
Good.
Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Well, discover the world of award-winning designer Joseph Abboud. You probably know Abboud for the signature cut of his luxurious suits and jackets, but the world of Joseph Abboud offers a lot of other products that fit your lifestyle. Sophisticated, much routinely and unsupportable biased bashing of an individual or entity in our media structure, but not today. Here, now, Walter Cronkite.
Not today, indeed. For this day, we find bet Greg Louganis-like over the Media Watch gurney of truth, and staring us in the face like a pile of unrisen dough, the great, flabby, sickeningly white ass of one of the radio medium's most disagreeable figures, a man who gives an entire rainbow of fresh meaning to terms such as bootlicking, sycophantic, useless, has-been, and craven, whining, sore-losing suck-up. Who could be so pathetic and loathsome as to inspire such expansion of pejorative interpretation? Albert Gore, Jr.? Yeah. Certainly. George W. Bush, it goes without saying. Hillary Rodham Clinton? No question. Those are the easy ones. Today, while we look to a less visible individual, we focus on one even more of an affront to the senses than any of those just named. For today, we zero in on the sagging, slack, rusty butt of Stevie Steak Shapiro, the hapless, hopeless, pasty patsy of Atlanta, Georgia's not ready for primetime radio market. Atlanta, one of the few broadcast markets that comes equipped with training wheels. And never is its novice status more nakedly revealed than in the pitiful Mr. Shapiro and his now psychotic obsession with and jealousy of one of the giants of the professional radio culture, Mike Francesa, the acclaimed sports doctor of New York City's celebrated radio station, WFAN. The facts are clear. Steak Shapiro sought to secure Mr. Francesa as a guest on his neighborhood radio program on Atlanta's 680 The Dome. And Francesa, as customary, didn't even return the phone call.
That's 790 The Zone.
How's that?
Steak's radio program. It's on 790 The Zone, sports station.
Interesting. That makes even less sense than 680 The Dome as a sports metaphor.
Well.
But be that as it may, it's really incidental to our thesis, which is, quite simply, that Mr. Shapiro's frequent telephone calls to this radio program, and to you, Mr. Imus, about Mike Francesa and your new sports correspondent, Patrick McEnroe, have revealed what must be a near bottomless insecurity in Mr. Shapiro, a terrible, choking anxiety about where, indeed whether, he fits into society, and a constant, incessant terror of being shunted aside as the paradigm, if you will, the Guinness Book Standard of Losers, capital L. And all of it, every last anxious particle, is absolutely justified. Mr. Shapiro has demonstrated his value. It is, in a word, zero. The man's a cipher. In the brief talent search, the competition to find a successor to the late Mike Breen of the Imus in the Morning Coast to Coast radio program, Mr. Shapiro volunteered his services and quickly proved himself to be a total, complete, unabridged, whole hog fool. And I employ the term hog advisedly. In his panting zeal to land a slot on the Imus program, any slot, no matter how minuscule, minor, or brief, there came not necessarily the news. Mike Francesa will never return your phone calls. He will never be a guest on your show. And please, lose the number of hours. For Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night.
Imus in the Morning 2020 Sports. Let's go to the audio tape.
Well, an ugly assessment of the virtues, such as they, limited as they are, of our Steak Shapiro.
Yeah, that's cold, wasn't it?
Here now with the man who did get the job.
Yes, sir.
The new owner of the...
That's right. You like that, don't you?
No, we're so disappointed in you. And
You are so excited.
We're not
Come
excited.
on. You're going to come out. You're going to sit in a little table, have a little champagne, watch some tennis matches.
Well, the Hampton. What's the name of your team?
New York Hamptons.
The New York Hamptons. This is just unbelievable.
Oh, man.
Wow. You are going to love it out there.
Who else is on your team?
Well, we haven't announced it yet.
So, in other words, you don't know. You're the only one on the team, right?
I'll be there.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
You will know soon enough.
Christy Brinkley.
Billy Joel. This is just not good.
Just to see me out there struggling and trying to play. You're going to love that.
This is not good, is it?
Jerry Delafamina.
The
usual Hamptons loser.
Yeah. All right, here with sports is Patrick McEnroe. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, Mr. Imus. This Imus Sports Report is brought to you by Courtyard by Marriott. On the NBA last night, the LA Lakers continue to roll, defeating hapless Golden State 119-96. Am I missing something here?
No, why we're
talking about who's going to show up in my team?
We're stocking your team. We have Jerry Delafamina, the Baldwin brothers, Michael Lynn.
Michael and
Definitely get them out there.
No, this is just
doubles.
This is awful.
You know, there's men and women on the teams, right? I know.
We did know that, yeah.
Okay, good.
I
want to make sure you're educated. You're up on this.
Well, we know what's going on, unfortunately.
And that's what worries you.
Yeah, so this is troubling. But anyway, all right.
Anyway, your team, on the basketball court, the Lakers rolled 119-96. Shaquille O'Neal scored 14 points in the first 8 minutes as the Lakers entered the first quarter with an 18-point lead. Here's Chuck Kern on KLAC Radio in L.A.
Danielle Marshall throws the ball away to Rice. There goes Shaq. What are you going to do, Shaq? Going to slam it, baby? Just a little one.
Oh, get out of here.
What are you going to do, Shaq? Are you going to pass it?
That's like me saying Reza Rofiel.
Honest to goodness. No, that was lamer. That was lamer.
It was lamer.
That was lamer
Yeah,
right
the
then.
hook and
That's
get him.
possible.
Unbelievable.
Well, I guess it was a night off for Chick as well, because it turned into a night off for most of the starting lineup in the Lakers. It wasn't that they didn't have one starter play over 30 minutes.
Really?
28 minutes
Well,
was
they
the
need
most.
to get him rested up for the playoffs.
They'll have plenty of rest during that time, too.
Even John Sally, saw airtime, the most since Pat O'Brien and yours truly spoke with him at their memorable journey to the Staples Center.
Yeah.
Sally played 4 minutes, just enough to finish with 2 fouls and 1 turnover.
Why is it called the Staples Center?
I guess because Staples put up the money
Oh, it
for
is. Is it the office supply outfit?
Instead of using nails, they use staples to hammer the walls in.
Well, I thought it could have been the.
Could have been anything.
That's a corporate thing, Staples Center.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
Here's how lame I am. I thought it was named after the gospel group, the Staples Singers.
A little.
Yeah, that is really.
Speaking of still being in the 70s.
God almighty, you're talking about me. You're about being out of it.
Hello?
Here to do the national anthem now.
Do I have any clue?
Gosh, Don, raise the roof.
Patrick McEnroe continues.
One ominous sign, though, for the Lakers. Shaq 2 for 7 from the free throw line.
Well,
not a good sign for the playoffs.
Well, it didn't matter, though.
Well, it didn't matter last night.
No.
But it'll matter come
Yeah, I know.
May, June.
We'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
The battle for home court advantage continues in the Eastern Conference, meanwhile, as Philadelphia and Toronto now tied for 4th in the conference. Here's Chuck Swirsky on the Fan, 590 in Toronto.
Iverson fakes right, goes left in traffic, right-handed scoop, good! Are you kidding me? Allen Iverson now with 44.
That's right, Allen Iverson, 44 points, 31 in the second half as he lit up the Raptors en route to a 106-93 win. Philly sweeps the season series with Toronto 3-0 as Iverson wins the matchup of the young superstars. Vince Carter finished with 26. The New York Knicks win ugly, 78-67 over the Chicago Bulls at Madison Square Garden last night. Latrell Sprewell led all scorers with 21. The Knicks had lost their last 2, by the way, to the Lakers and the Pacers, and at least they got a win over the horrific Bulls. Patrick Ewing, not exactly overjoyed with this one.
We had to stop, stop the bleeding. If we didn't get up for them, we could have lost. So we had to come out and play hard and execute and do what we needed to do to get this win.
There you go. That's right. It's the Bulls.
Absolutely.
They scored 78 points.
In the Garden.
Excitement, too much to take at the Garden last night. And in Boston, Minnesota beats the Celtics 109-106. Here is Chad Hartman on the Minnesota Timberwolves radio network.
Granted, front court, Peeler. Here's a chance for the win. They do it at the buzzer. Anthony Peeler's 3. Right back at the Celtics, and the ball game is over.
There it is. All right, Minnesota does it. Kevin Garnett had 40 as the Celtics dropped to 1.5 games behind Orlando in the race for the last playoff spot in the East. Orlando beat Atlanta last night 103-90. In the NHL, Pat Verbeek became the 28th player in NHL history to score 500 career goals as he scored twice last night. Detroit tied Calgary. Here's Ken Callan, WJR in Detroit.
Edstrom holds it in again. Flies it over, right side, Eisman down low to Verbeek with a chance. Score! Number 500 by Pat Verbeek on the power play. And the Red Wings have tied the game at 2.
It doesn't exactly do it for you, does it,
Man, that is just...
Whoopie-damn-do.
God
Come on, guy
almighty.
scores 500 goals.
That is awful.
Yeah.
And lastly, of course, tonight, the NCAA tournament continues. Gets serious tonight. 4 games on tap in the Palace at Auburn Hills. Michigan State, with a little bit of a home court advantage, takes on Syracuse. Then Iowa State, the Cyclones, meet UCLA, who's looked impressive in the tournament. And in Albuquerque at the Pit, Gonzaga tries to repeat his trip to the West Regional Final. They take on Purdue in the first game. And then Wisconsin, out of the Big Ten, battles LSU.
And you have no teams left, right?
Well, I have Michigan State left.
Oh, everybody has Michigan State.
Well, you just said you have no teams
well,
left.
that's the guy I did, yes.
No, everybody doesn't. Jim Nance doesn't have Michigan State.
He doesn't?
No.
He has nobody?
Who does Jim Nance have left?
He picked St. John's, Iowa State, Duke, and Stanford.
All right.
And his final 2 were Stanford beating St. John's.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't think we need to dismiss Nance. He's going to be on here in 20
No,
minutes.
but we would like to present the facts, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Who do you have again?
He had St. John's, Iowa State, Duke, and Stanford.
Well, he's still alive with Iowa State and Duke.
Can't slip nothing past the Iron Man.
No, but he has.
Right
How many teams do you have left?
I have 2.
Which 2 do you have?
I have, I don't even
He doesn't know.
what the hell they are. Hello? I have two teams left.
Which two? You
have
Iowa State and Duke.
Okay, there you go.
You're the same as Nance.
Yeah, but I'm not getting paid by CBS to cover the NCAA.
Bernie, you told me you had Michigan State.
He has the two
No, I
losers
don't.
playing each other, too.
He has what?
He has two, Stanford and St. John's.
Stanford and St. John's.
He has them in the final game, and that can't happen.
Well, yes, I understand that, but I mean, just because he does the games doesn't mean he's supposed to be able to pick the. Does it?
Why are we having him on then?
Okay. Well, let's go to Ned's and see what he thinks.
Let's get the sports doctor Francesa on and see what he thinks.
What he thinks. These guys have
He's got
what we
one
have.
team left.
These guys have
You're the one. Well, didn't we decide we like Nance?
We like him a lot.
Love him.
Sure.
That's why he's on.
We just like him to know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
That's all.
Apparently, even McEnroe's dissing him now. This is ugly. Well, Jim Nance is coming up, and then John McCain. What do you know?
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Yeah, darling, go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space like a true nature's child. We were born to be wild. We can climb so high. I never wanna die. Born to be. Imus in the morning. 1-800-MATTRVS.
The Imus the Morning program, John Cardinal O'Connor.
Shut up.
Good morning, Cardinal O'Connor.
Good morning, Nicole Glass. Here I, Mr. Moore, Jennifer Flowers compared her sex with the president with Monica Lewinsky's version.
I did not hear that.
Close but no cigar.
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Well, I, Mr. Moore, with the Cardinal's creative juices flowing, put together a little poem, a little limerick, if you will.
You know, I love these limericks of yours, Cardinal.
About our horny White House hooligan, be Jesus.
Oh, this will be great.
Goes as follows.
Okay.
The scandal is climaxing, gripping our nation. Thanks to the liars' public ejaculations.
That will be fine.
Some are afraid he'll get off the hook. Others don't care. He's a lovable schnook. But impeachment or not, there is punishment he's getting. These days, Socks the Cat's the only pussy he's petting.
Imus in the morning.
All right, let me talk to you now about E-Trade. Jump on that online trading on that share market deal. That's what I'm talking about now. A lot of things in life are hard to do, but thanks to the folks at E-Trade, opening your IRA is fairly easy.
I was viciously attacked during the break by Bernard McGirt.
Brought to you by Hackensack Medical Center. And then there were 12. Last night, Michigan State, Iowa State, Purdue, Wisconsin all win going away, including Michigan State down by 14 to Syracuse in the second half. Then outscoring Syracuse 17-0 in the last 6 minutes of the game to win it 75-58. NBA, the Wiz beat the Nuggets 100-86. After the game, Nuggets coach Dan Issel, who was ejected in the second period.
I've been trying hard. I didn't say a word to the man, okay? I'm not going to defend myself. I don't need defending. I've been trying hard not to talk. No, I didn't say a word to the officials tonight.
No, it was all pantomime.
Somebody said something to him.
Yeah, that's right.
A couple of gestures here or there.
Was it Charlie McCarthy? Speaking of the Wiz, what's with Michael Jordan? Jordan tells the Chicago Sun-Times that the NBA is making a mistake by pushing Grant Hill and others as the next Michael Jordan. Jordan says such players as Kobe Bryant and Vince Carter still have much work to do on the court. Jordan says Vince Carter's offensive moves are dazzling, but he doesn't play defense. And commenting on his own players, Juwan Howard says Juwan makes too much money. He's not a franchise player, although he's paid like one. He's just knocking everybody.
I love that.
Come on.
Come on, MJ.
Yeah.
Keep it coming, brother.
Keep it real. Sure. School's in.
Yeah. Well, after all these years, Indiana University is investigating allegations regarding inappropriate actions by Bobby Knight.
Well, how did you?
Well, the latest one concerning Knight being a...
We're not having
teether.
It wasn't my tooth. I have a filling in my head. The latest one concerning Knight being accused of choking former player Neil Reed, and that Knight once threw the university president out of his practice.
That's very ugly.
Well, here's the university president, Miles Brand.
I am troubled both by Mr. Reed's incorrect assertion that I was subjected to verbal abuse and ejected by Coach Knight from a practice, and by the network's timing of the report released on the eve of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it was the network's fault that Indiana lost by 20 to Pepperdine.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
Boy.
Yeah, that's a ticket.
That's it. Well, what have you done for me lately? Devils coach Robbie Fatorik, here he has the best record in the Eastern Conference, even though they won only 5 of the last 17, fired with just 8 games left in the regular season.
That's ugly.
That's like Panicville.
That's a Machiavellian situation.
That's right. That's right.
You could win a copy of Stanley Bing's book.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Send Lou Lorimello a book.
Yeah.
Lamorello a book. Right, whatever.
Your book.
Yeah.
Give him my book. That's right.
Lamorello, I thought you had 8 games left.
You
lost.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you've heard me say for years, hockey, drop your gloves, you're out of the game if you want to stop fighting.
Fortunately, you have not dropped that either.
That's right. Well, listen to this.
All right.
The 28 general managers are getting together in June, and they're taking it a step further.
What's going to happen now?
They're going to propose for fighting a 10-game suspension to any player that starts a fight.
There you go.
A 5-game suspension to the coach of that player, and a $50,000 fine to the team's owner.
They're idiots.
I mean, that makes my proposal mild.
And they are idiots, because why does anybody watch hockey?
For fights.
Only for the fights.
Well,
Certainly. Come on.
So,
That's
get it
right.
on.
that's why I hate hockey. Another reason.
Yeah.
That's what the NBA should do. Encourage more fights.
Exactly.
More ratings.
Sure.
Let's get these guys punching each other, stabbing each other.
That's right.
Knifing each other.
Well,
Yeah, we don't care about microphones.
Mike, the coaches, who cares?
Yeah, fights.
we want to hear it. We want to see it.
We want more contact. More fouls.
Carry razor blades.
Yeah. And finally,
Box cutters.
Let's just stop now.
That was not a foul.
here's a nice story.
All right.
Ending with a nice story.
Go ahead.
Talk about holding a job. Yankee public address announcer Bob Shepard, about 80 years old, will be honored at Yankee Stadium celebrating his 50th year of doing the Yankee games.
All right.
Yeah.
He also does the Giant games. He did his first Yankee game in 1951.
Wow.
I mean, that's something.
Okay.
Right?
Way to be.
All right. Way to be. Way to be.
That's right.
Many beers ago.
He's still pretty good, actually.
Yeah, he is. He's a professor at Columbia, too.
Yeah, the guy's still pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it would sound funny if he were not introducing these people
That's right.
at the stadium.
Yeah. Way
Number
to go, Pops.
23, Don Mattingly.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. The guy's great. It's pretty good, Lou.
That's good.
Number 9.
Like a little Beatle record, doesn't he? All right. Come on, Warner, wrap this up.
I did.
Okay.
My time is up. I thank you for yours.
Don't forget, Warner Wolf will be at the Javits Center tomorrow signing copies of Let's Go to the Videotape, his dopey book from Warner Books, which is, features Warner's observations on sports for the past 500 years. And so bring your stuff over there, and Warner will be very happy to sign Let's Go to the Videotape, all the plays and replays from Warner's life in sports.
He'll even take his teeth out for you.
With the live.
That's in the book.
That is in the book. Yes,
Sure.
absolutely.
Well, a redneck nerd in a bowling shirt was a guzzling Lone Star beer, talking religion and politics for all the world to hear. They ought to send you back to Russia, boy, or New York City one. You just want to doodle a Christian girl and you kill God's only son.
Imus in the morning.
Are you making what you could be making?
Imus in the morning.
This is the Imus in the Morning radio program. On WFAN New York and Infinity Broadcasting Station, 9 o'clock, time for Imus in the Morning News. Local developments, first of all.
All right, here now, Media Watch and Walter Cronkite.
Join me now as we enter the Media Watch examination room. Take sigmoidoscope in hand, bend over, and introduce it into our own dump sump to see what terrible objects lie within. Our periodic self-assessment was triggered this time by a simple telephone call to the Imus in the Morning program. A call from a 69-year-old Southern lady who, when asked why she listened to and or watched the Imus show, answered matter-of-factly, just because she liked it. Well, that aberration aside, I believe the better question is not why a 69-year-old woman in a tar paper tent in Tennessee is an Imus listener, but rather why anyone, anywhere, is an Imus listener. What could possibly be compelling about a program whose content wanders aimlessly from another interminable conversation with an overbearing stuffed shirt political parasite to an infantile essay voiced by some luminary long extinct, capped by an absolutely anesthetizing discourse of drivel with, well, an idiot, a man named Fred, who, so far as we can tell, was put on Earth to dig holes in New Mexico. And that, in my judgment, fairly well covers the program's intellectual appeal. Perhaps then its attraction is more visual, one might suggest, explaining its rating success on the struggling MSNBC cable experiment. And yet, on closer view, what could be the optical allure of the Tourette-fueled eye man, an individual who looks as though his face caught on fire and a track team stomped it out? What is beguiling about producer and internet militia figure Bernard McGurk, whose rice paddy hair appears to have been used as a test track for an Ortho Garden Products lawn aphid control? Or the visually disturbing sports reporter Mike Breen, whose head looks like a yam on a nail? Indeed, what is it that is engaging about Breen's frequent substitute, the diminutive Warner Wolf, whose principal attributes seem to be that his teeth come out and you could set a beer on his head? As I think about it, he shouldn't be a sportscaster at all. He should be a White House intern. And then there's newsman Chuck McCord. Where's the charm here, one wonders? A man in his 17th midlife crisis, copying on Wolf Blitzer with the grizzled beard affectation, looking for all the world like a four-eyed death row inmate. The picture would only be complete were he to hold up a sign reading, "We'll stumble through wire copy for food." Pathetic. And finally, the junior member of this truly motley crew, the young chief engineer, Lou Rufino, whose impertinent, unwelcome spoken cracks are only slightly less mortifying than his physical appearance, wearing his latest Reefer Madness, Headbanger, Rage Against the Machine, I Made Monica Gag t-shirt. Parting thoughts? NBC News President Andrew Lack, I would wager, must watch and weep. For it's not the Lisa Myers interview with Jane Doe number 5 his news division should be sitting on. No, it is this, the Imus in the Morning program, for which, it seems to me, Mr. Lack has already taken it in the butt. Sad. For me to watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night.
Very good point, Bernard. Thank you for participating here after 2 hours.
Who was that in the background there?
That was Bernard.
Bernard?
Yeah.
Does he still work there?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
It'll take him a day or two to get over it. It's unbelievable. It's like, actually, it really is. It's like being in charge of a kindergarten class. And if Charles writes something and he comes back with it and I say it's not funny, he sulks for 2 days.
Sure.
And then, if I'm serious about it, he goes back out to his computer or his typewriter and writes a letter of resignation. It comes in and hands it to me to get somebody else to do it. The guy's making a lot of money, and he comes in and he resigns his job if he writes something and I say it's not funny. But it's unbelievable. Bernard, I chastised Bernard. He sulked for a week. Lou, you know what Lou used to do when I'd scream at him? He would get up from the controls and go out and sit in the... Remember, Bernard?
Yeah.
And Lou would go out and sit in the lobby with steam coming out of his ears.
Throw knives at the wall.
Remember when he used to do that?
I don't recall.
Well, of course you recall.
I recuse myself.
Rob, if I don't plug Rob's gigs, he comes in and he's got that hound dog look on his face. What do you call that, Chuck?
Hang dog.
Is it hang dog,
yeah.
hound dog looking,
Sure.
big droopy-eyed look, whining about stuff? And then if I say anything to my brother, he gets stressed out and his heart rate goes up to 180 beats an hour, and
Sounds to me like you ought to get off everybody's back.
Yeah,
what? I can't say anything to anybody.
It sounded to me like.
Sounds like you're the problem.
No, but I mean,
you're freaking everybody out.
Absolutely. 30 people here.
I'm the one with all the pressure.
And you take the criticism very well. Whenever we say that interview wasn't that good, forget it. We can't even say that.
Of course you can.
Oh, we cannot. There's no way.
Well, no, that's absolutely not true.
If I say to you,
I'll let you tell you something.
because you're an idiot.
What's the first thing you do? All you want to have is boners and
see, there you go.
All you want is boners and breath. That's all you want.
That's the way you react to criticism.
You want Bernards with these muff jokes. That's what you want.
No, see, if I criticize...
Nothing.
Because
you're an illiterate.
Here we go. Here we go. You can't take criticism either.
Yes, I can. But I can't take criticism from you when you don't want to hear somebody... Whenever I have somebody on, if they want to talk about some serious subject, whether it's a book or politics or something like that, then you get all bummed out.
You're wrong.
Well, no, I'm not
Absolutely wrong.
Here's what my brother does. When you say something he doesn't like, he just hangs up on you. I swear to God, that's the truth. You say anything he doesn't like, he hangs up.
Well...
Now, is that the case or not?
Yeah, well, yes, it is. But and the reason I do that is because then that ends the conversation, doesn't it?
It sure does.
It's unpleasant at that point, and I don't want to continue it, and so I just hang up. All right, Fred. Well, how do you feel, Fred?
I feel great.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll call you later. You won't feel so hot.
I probably won't.
All right, I'll look.
Sitting on a throne with a microphone, tirade, diatribe in a baritone, foaming at the mouth like a maniac. Pit bull jaws lock in the attack, ranting and raving about his power and clout, on a prowl for a target he can take out. Lambs to the slaughter for the sacrifice. Don't look him in the eye or you pay the price, cause ain't no reputation he won't impugn. Luminaries, politicians, nobody's immune. Network head or just yuppie slime. If there's blood in the water, then it's feeding time. Ain't no secret that you can conceal. The more he make it squirm, the better he feel. As President Clinton or Peter Moss, they'll tell you who the boss. Every small mistake, put your life at stake. You won't get a break. I'm as dissing you. No matter what you say, he'll blow you away. Much to your dismay, you're his helpless prey. I'm as dissing you. Looking for a life that he can disrupt, waiting for some big mouth, big wig to slip up. Show him a weakness, the fear he smell, then makes him but his morning to live in hell. Got a lot of snaps in his bag of tricks. Do a number on you, cause his is 666. Ain't no witness for your prosecution, cause he's judge, jury, and executioner. If I was you, I would plead the fifth, or drive my car off the very next cliff. But don't come up with some lame excuse, cause you just asking for more abuse. If you say something that you shouldn't have said, you'll be consumed with feelings of dread. Roll the dice with him, you're gonna lose. Start singing the blues. You make every small mistake, put your life at stake. You won't get a break. I'm as dissing you. No matter what you say, he'll blow you away. All you can do is pray that he'll pass away. I'm as dissing you. Every slip you find morning, when his life is over, pray that you'll dance. I'm on his grave.
Hello out there. We're about ready to begin our program. It's a beautiful day in Chicago, and we're going to have a wonderful time this afternoon. I want to acknowledge the presence of the man that made and named Mr. Winston Moore director, our own beloved Imus in the Morning.
It's back. That frequent heartburn.
This report's brought to you by Empress Travel. Sick of gas prices? Fly nonstop to Cancun for only $199 per person. Don't pay at the pump. Play on the beach in Cancun. Call Empress at 877-2-EMPRESS. I'm Lori McNichol for the Tri-State Jeep Fan Highway Patrol.
All right, hold it down. This just in to Imus in Washington.
Hello, Americans. All eyes on Wall Street this morning after yesterday's 8,918-point drop in the closely watched Dow Jones Industrial Average. Analysts say it may mark the onset of the market's widely anticipated 100% correction. Losers outnumbered gainers during yesterday's session by a ratio that could not be immediately calculated. Meantime, in Washington, an overnight poll by the Gallup Organization, CNN, and USA Today found President Clinton's approval rating on news of the down day on Wall Street reached a new all-time high of 119%. The president was asked about the dramatic figure in view of the fact that 119% of anything is, at least in theory, a mathematical impossibility. And here's what Mr. Clinton had to say. President Clinton, with a very brief statement that observers say reflects a newfound self-assurance as the White House campaign to shift the nation's focus from presidential scandals continues to succeed. Good night.
In a related story, Presidential News Secretary Mike McCurry met with reporters to offer an explanation for what appeared to be a fresh scandal story, an account by yet another flight attendant traveling with the 1992 campaign, who's come forward to claim that Mr. Clinton got, as she described it, a little too close for comfort. McCurry told the press corps Mr. Clinton's motivations were absolutely proper.
You see, that was at a time when the president was intensely involved in health care issues, and he was quite innocently, indeed may I say responsibly, pursuing an entirely platonic interest in this young woman's chest area to help him get a better understanding of, breast tissue density and prepare appropriate health reform legislation. The president's personal involvement led to his noted report, by the way, Flight Attendant Nipple Values, an Interpretive Comparison.
Mike, could we see a copy of that report?
Thank you, Rush. And now to our medical desk, where several of our correspondents and news anchors are standing by to try to get to the truth behind Viagra, the controversial and highly touted Pfizer pharmaceutical product claimed to correct male erectile dysfunction. There has been so much hype and near hysteria surrounding the introduction of this drug. We here at Imus in Washington Network headquarters decided to try to separate fact from fiction. Approximately 1 hour ago, several of our key personnel were administered Viagra. Several received a placebo of a mild electrical shock stuck up their butts, and all were given a mechanized blow-up rubber doll named Monica. Let's check in to see how they're doing. First, here's IIW correspondent Andy Rooney. Andy, no pun intended, but how's it hanging?
Jesus, do you see this thing? I do, which is remarkable. I haven't seen it in years. At least not at this angle. Viagra, I love you.
Thank you, Andy. Now, veteran broadcast reporter Walter Cronkite. Walter, any effect?
Return with me now to my condition of just 1 hour ago. Flaccid, no dangle angle, al dente at the very best. I'm quite the sailing enthusiast, as you may be aware, so let me employ a nautical term to describe the state of things at this juncture. You could walk the plank on this bad boy. Thank you, and good night.
And the man behind America's most listened to radio voice, Paul Harvey.
Hello, Americans. Well, good night, Nell. Would you just look at this thing, penis envier? The rest of the story? I will never again, in my travels around this great land of ours, have to pack my own microphone stand. Say, I wonder if I could plug this into an intern. Paul Harvey, have a really good day.
It is 9:30 Eastern Time. The opening bell of the new...
The long term, because trading can be hazardous to your wealth. Buyandhold.com.
You know, I couldn't wear my gun last night, Bo.
Why?
I don't know. It won't fit under my tuxedo.
You know, I got a Les Move It story.
Okay. Do you know Les?
Yeah.
Am I right about this?
Well, let me
you got to take a shower after you talk to this guy.
He's a very nice guy when you meet him outside of the office.
He's one of your guys. I can see that.
He gets to hang with the Bo anytime.
Can't you see that, Charles?
In the posse.
I can see Leslie Moonves, Joey Potts and Pans, Steve Witkoff, Chuck Schumer, Donald Trump, Al Gore, and you.
At an Agassi match.
You had an Agassi match.
With Puff Daddy there.
With Puff Daddy, absolutely. And Johnny Cochran.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
You think either Bo Deedle or Leslie Moonves even looked at each other when they were spent the whole night at the bar at Rayo's?
Every time somebody walked in the door.
Oh, absolutely.
The neck. Who's this? Oh, wait. Never mind. Nobody there. Oh, now what were you saying?
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66.
give or receive. That is...
Good morning, Mr. Imus.
How are you?
Pretty good. I thought that you better tell Fred to get them dogs checked for salmonella poisoning, because you're supposed to cook them chickens real good.
No.
Pardon?
I know. I'm aware of that. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, well, but
until you brought it up.
Those are expensive dogs.
That's a very good point, though.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
8 raw chickens and...
Yeah, you get salmonella poisoning.
Oh.
Hey, would you like to talk to my wife?
Yeah.
My TV set is low on the right side, and she's outside there jacking up the trailer.
Right.
So I can't get to her right now, but she can call you back.
Have her call me back.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later. She's outside jacking up the trailer.
TV's a little low
on the right side. Here's Ed from Bethlehem, Connecticut. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Mr. Imus. How are you?
Ed's a chicken farm. What kind of chickens you raise?
I have Rhode Island Reds and Barred Rocks right now.
How many chickens do you have?
22, plus 1 rooster. Keep them happy.
22 chickens?
Yes, and then 1 rooster. The reason I have the odd number is because every couple of years I butcher a few when they stop laying eggs.
Right.
But it's very important to have the dogs checked for salmonella.
Oh, it is?
Oh, definitely. Raw chicken is full of salmonella. Sometimes you have to wash the eggs, or you definitely, after you finish handling the chickens, you have to wash up really good. But if
how about free-range chickens? Are they same thing?
Yes, yeah. Salmonella is just natural in chicken.
Oh, it is.
Yes, they don't. Even if they're cooped up, they can get it more, but they need sunshine, they need fresh air, and a lot of fresh water. And tell Fred when he gives them the water to put in garlic in the water. Garlic is like a nature's cure-all. It's really good for him. But if Fred wants to order more, I get my chickens from a place in Oklahoma, McMurray, chicken farmers, chicken raisers, and they vaccinate them against a disease called Merck's disease, which is really good to have them vaccinated, and got to keep the dogs away from them.
Yeah.
I lost 2 chickens at the beginning to an owl.
An owl?
An owl snuck in and ate 2 of my chickens, so I took precautions against that.
The thing I'm concerned about, of course, is we get them out to the ranch.
Yeah.
The quail now, the quail are protected. They're out. They can't get to the quail at this point, but.
Well, they have to be able to get they can be free range, but they have to be able to get inside undercover should they sense some danger.
Exactly. These dogs.
You got big enough property out of the ranch that you can erect a free range where you can put even like chicken wire over the top to keep the hawks and eagles out.
Right.
Mine are underneath cover of trees so the hawks can't get them.
Well, you must do something else, other because if you only have 22 chickens, you're hardly making a living raising chickens.
No, you're right. I raise it for myself, and I just sell a few dozen eggs.
Oh,
that's not my day job.
How long do the chickens? How long do they lay eggs? For how many?
2 to 3 years.
And then what? They just kind of.
And then they just kind of get old and don't want to do it anymore. So I butcher them.
Any way you can slap them around and make them lay eggs? Not.
Tell them you're going to butcher them.
I wonder, can chickens think? Do you think?
Yeah. Well.
Do they have any emotion?
I know they can feel pain because every once in a while I'll step on one of them, and they squawk. Emotion, yeah, maybe, probably. They're not as dumb as turkeys, but they're not far up on the evolutionary intelligence scale.
Right. Probably right below Bob Barr.
Everybody out there.
Thanks, Ed. Ed, the chicken farmer from Bethlehem, Connecticut. Well, he's not really a chicken farmer. He has 22 chickens.
Yeah. It's kind of a hobby, I guess.
Ed, apparently one of the people I haven't lost touch with, according to this article in the New York Post this morning. I schmooze with my powerful new friends, but I've lost touch with the old faithfuls.
Yeah.
Just every single quote in this article is wrong. Every element.
Yep.
Every figure that's quoted in this article is wrong.
Well, what are you going to do?
John Manelli. I don't know. Just sad. But as I said, I was talking about this last week. You get this puff piece in Newsweek. I've had hideous things written about me. This is one of them. But fortunately, it's in our Post, so it doesn't mean much. It doesn't mean anything.
Not a lot.
Oh, it annoyed me. It bummed me out, but it didn't bum me out as much as the chicken situation did. So.
I don't know. I don't know I don't know how you recover from this. Well, of course, life goes on. You have to just plunge ahead.
Oh.
There are lots of chickens. Aren't these chickens? But there are other chickens.
Well, we have a vet, for the ranch, Callahan, takes care of all the horses and the cattle and all this stuff, and he should be consulted about the dogs too, whether they should.
Whether, which I guess is certainly a legitimate concern.
Let's Fred back on the phone. Let's see if he's even thought this through.
Look into the salmonella deal.
The president's going to speak tonight at 9 o'clock. Yeah. Big State of the Union address. And it's worth watching. I mean, it'll be a series of tedious recitation of, bogus accomplishments and these initiatives that he's proposing, none of which will come into fruition, of course. But it'll be interesting watching just for the theatrics of it, the dynamics, to see the close-ups of various people, and he'll
unusual circumstance.
He'll do a lip bite. Well, George Stephanopoulos predicted that he would say something to Mrs. Clinton about how much he loves her, or thanking her, or whatever. And that'll be one of those lip biting deals, and he'll mouth "I love you" or something to her, and
camera close on Mrs. Clinton.
Right, and she'll be squinting her eyes at him, thinking
she'll be smiling, and Sammy Sosa.
I have no clue what's going on, by the way.
No idea where he is.
And don't even know what the deal is, why he's there. And, well, we know why he's there, so. Some hideously transparent move to try to just deflect us.
Right.
But then the trial starts today, and we'll find out. What will be interesting to see, on a serious note, is if the president's lawyers start disputing all of these facts, none of which they disputed in the hearings in the House.
Yeah.
So they simply attack Ken Starr and the methods the whole process itself, as opposed to disputing any of the facts in the case. Now, if they dispute the facts in the case in this trial in the Senate, then that'll
be news,
and it will and it'll call into question some of the testimony provided by some of the witnesses,
right?
Which may make it necessary then to examine the witnesses.
Exactly.
Have you called the vet, Fred, about checking these dogs for salmonella?
No, I haven't, but that's a good idea.
Do you happen to know that with these chickens, where Deidre bought the chickens, I was just talking to another chicken guy, a chicken farmer from Vermont.
Right.
He gets his chickens from Ed's Chickens or someplace down in Oklahoma.
Right.
And he claims that chickens are vaccinated for various diseases.
But salmonella not being...
Oh, well, I'm sure. I get this from a hatchery down... I mean, these came from a hatchery down in Portales, New Mexico.
Right.
So, I'll call him and see. I'll call the vet and see what he says.
Good idea. Seriously.
Oh. I did talk to him, though. They said that chicken probably be fine.
We did?
Yeah.
You already talked to the hatchery?
Right.
So you don't need to order any new chickens?
No, he said that one would probably be okay.
Yeah, but I mean, don't you think you should...
Well, yeah, I mean...
Have a heart here, God.
No, I'm just saying, if a person wasn't going to get any more chickens, that chicken would probably survive.
Oh, it's not traumatized, in other words.
Right, he's drinking water and eating, so obviously he's okay, If they're eating, they're fine,
Okay.
Well, you don't know the emotional trauma the chicken has suffered, of course.
Well, he was traumatized when I found him yesterday.
He was?
I mean, he was, but he seems fairly back to normal today.
You don't know how long.
How could you tell he was traumatized yesterday?
He wasn't moving.
What were you doing to him?
No, he was in the corner,
Afraid they would come back, yeah.
So, but today he's walking around and eating and drinking water, so that tells me he's probably okay. I mean, sure, he'd like little friends,
Yeah.
Sure.
I was grateful for your protection.
Yeah, you do such a wonderful job protecting his little brothers and sisters.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
You're my hero.
Jesus God. Well,
Why are you pulling your zipper down now?
You're kidding. He was cowering in a corner when you found him yesterday?
Yeah.
That's horrible, isn't it?
No,
that's heartbreaking news.
Yeah, it is.
But he's okay now.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long a memory chickens have, you know.
Yeah.
Most stuff most animals are instinct, you know.
Well, one chicken can play tic-tac-toe, so they must...
Yeah, how about the Calvin Trillin chicken? This used to be down on Mott Street in the Village here, in New York. I played tic-tac-toe and beat people all the time. That's pretty...
It's a bright chicken.
That's a pretty...
Suggesting memory,
yeah,
suggesting reasoning capability, the whole thing.
Oh, everything.
Sure.
Well, I don't buy that. That the chicken thought about his moves.
They beat people.
Well, how did he beat people then?
Well, people like you guys going down there.
He went first.
There's people like Bernie showing up and wanting to play tic-tac-toe with the chicken.
You know, Calvin Trillin told us one time that he would take people down to play with the chicken, you know?
Right.
And people would complain, saying the chicken got to go first.
Of course he won.
And Calvin said, well, yeah, but I mean, it's a chicken. You're a human being. And then if other people would say, when they got beat by the chicken,
yeah,
they would say, well, the chicken plays all the time.
Both very good points, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean...
Come on.
It's a chicken. You would think, to being a human being, you'd have some advantage, wouldn't you?
Not if the chicken played every day.
It always got to go first.
I mean, he's figured out all the moves, you know?
He's done the math.
He's done the math.
And you're telling me that little chicken doesn't remember.
You know who's really upset about this? She didn't say anything on the air. It's Deidre. You know?
I sense the hurt in her voice.
Remember, that was a big deal for her. She went to all this trouble to get the chickens for you.
Oh, yeah.
Did all the research and, well, whatever. Well, I guess the research was just picking up the pamphlets you had in your house there, but still, you know.
Thoughtful.
It was very thoughtful of her, don't you think?
Well, of course. Who's disputing that?
You don't sound grateful.
Yeah, no, you don't sound grateful
You
at
don't
all.
act grateful.
You don't act grateful, you don't sound grateful. And Deidre was right. You didn't seem that enthusiastic when you got the chickens.
Well, Jesus, what are you beating up on me today for?
Because you killed the chickens.
You're a war criminal.
You're a war criminal. That's why.
Imus in the morning.
12 minutes to the hour, Imus in the morning. Today, a lot of people are trying to eat healthier, and that means they're trying to lower the amount of fat in their diets. That also means that a lot of times they're eating food that tastes pretty bland. But now there's a way to have a delicious meal and still eat healthier. Barber Foods Light Stuffed Chicken Breasts. Just like all of Barber's products, Barber Light Stuffed Chicken Breasts are the best tasting food in the freezer case. Best of all, they have only 8 grams of fat or less per serving. Only 8 grams of fat, yet they have all the great taste of stuffed chicken like you'd get in a restaurant. For example, Barber Light Stuffed Chicken Breasts filled with ham and cheese. That's the cordon bleu. Or stuffed with broccoli and cheese. But no matter which variety you choose, you'll know you're not only eating a delicious meal, you're eating a healthier meal. So if you're trying to eat better, or you're just not happy with the taste of those other low-fat foods, try Barber Light Stuffed Chicken Breasts. They're the best frozen food you've ever had, and certainly the best low-fat food you've ever had. In fact, they're simply delicious. Look for a variety of Barber Foods delicious chicken entrees in the frozen food department at participating ShopRite stores.
Okay, here's the good news. This is